Coach, yesterday was a bit of a frustration, but today it felt like your team was firing on all facets. What did you make of your team's bounce-back performance today?
Let me first of all start by saying I apologize for taking a long time yesterday, and I needed a minute yesterday, but some of you guys had already left, and I apologize for that. So I wasn't trying to duck questions yesterday. That's not my style. I'm happy to answer anything after a tough loss, but I needed a minute yesterday. So apologize for that for those that weren't had already gone. But moving forward to today, it was big on our guys to come back. Last couple of days have been kind of rock bottom. Really, you don't like losing games at home, especially to those guys, and to get down 4-0 today and not show a whole lot of signs of offense, but to be able to come back and steal one there and fight the last half of that game and come back away with the win was, hopefully we can use that momentum as a huge positive moving forward.
Right now it feels like, the players, they know what they need to do to succeed. Was there a need for a conversation after yesterday, or are you confident they can just carry themselves forward now?
There's always a need for a conversation. I think there's you try not to fall upon deaf ears by saying the same thing over and over, but this team seems to fall into the same pattern at times as to when we scuffle versus when we do well. And, they're going to get tired of me, saying it over and over, but as long as these guys come ready to play and stay aggressive, I will deal with the results, however they pan out. But when we're not, we just kind of at times get flat, I think, and it's noticeable. We notice it, our fans notice it, our players notice it, and it's like, man, if we come to play ready to play every day, I'll take our chances against anybody. But that's kind of been the mantra here the past couple weeks.
You said last night that you weren't happy with the offensive production, and then tonight waking up with 8 runs. Is there any type of change to their approach today?
Just more defined, I think, on what we're trying to do and staying with it. Even we got runners on. I mean, to me, that was the whole series. It seemed like anytime they got a runner on, they came up with a big hit and drove them in. Every time we got a runner on, we hit into a double play or demolished any type of rally. And finally, in the 5th and 6th there today, we were able to break through and get some hits with guys in scoring position and hits with guys on base and string something together. Made the comment yesterday, our hits were meaningless yesterday. It's like they were one-hit wonders, and then that was it. Everybody got a hit except for a couple guys, and but today we were able to stack them on top of each other and create a rally. But it seemed like on the flip side, every time those guys got a guy on, they strung 2 or 3 hits together and scored, and that was the frustrating part on our end. So, but yeah, much better offensive approach today.
Cole had a career day today. What do you think was working for him?
Everything. Kid was electric tonight. That's the best I've ever seen him. I think he faced 13 hitters, punched out 10. That was impressive by him. Went a little bit longer than we wanted to. We stretched him out one more inning, but the kid was rolling, man. I didn't want to take him out. He just he was throwing the heck out of it. Everything was working well. Pitches were tunneling great. Had some fuzz on it when it was coming out too, which was good to see. He just had it all working tonight.
When you talk about how the team fizzling out in games is kind of a similar theme, how important do you think that outing from Cole was to kind of bring some energy and have guys win the right way today?
Well, I think it was huge. Not only the fact that we were down 4, but he stopped the bleeding and he put up a bunch of zeros for us to. Even we put 2 across, we still felt like, gosh, dang, we got a ways to go. And then he went out and put up another 0, and we started that rally with I think a couple of base hits, Hairston and Contradas, if I remember right. Knew Contradas getting that big, in my mind, big base hit to right, and I think with 2 strikes maybe, just to really kind of get that rally going. But the fact that he just put up zeros and gave us a chance to get going was huge.
Carlone and Kelly have been 2 big pieces in this bullpen this year. What have you seen from them this season?
Like I said, both of them at times have been next to unhittable, right? They've been pretty electric. Carlone was great tonight. Lucas Kelly had it, and he was pretty amped up tonight and running it up there in the upper 90s. And, I think he only threw one breaking pitch today. He was just all heaters and hit it if you can. And a couple guys made some solid contact, but he's been working on the breaking stuff, and it's there. So he has it if he needs it. But those two guys have been great. We were without Jonah Giblin this weekend. He's been under the weather. That was a big piece of our bullpen that we missed, I think, this weekend. A couple other guys were a little under the weather too. So, but those two have been outstanding.
You guys currently lead the Big 12 in strikeouts on the season, and you guys had 45 this weekend. What makes that such a big strength for your team? What about it?
Well, I think that's part of Jeremy's philosophy is win the race and get the punch out, right? Especially in our ballpark, the less guys can put the ball in play in our ballpark, the better. So if we have guys striking guys out, that's huge. Especially as we get later on in this season and the weather starts warming up a little bit and the ground gets harder, the more guys we can punch out and not put the ball in play gives us a better chance. So we have guys with pretty good stuff that are able to do it, and we'll keep attacking the zone, working ahead, and then trying to finish guys off like we have been.
Kind of piggybacking off of that, you also have 4 infielders or 5 or 6 at times that you trust to make defensive plays behind them. How does that help you guys just have a complete defensive shots?
We've done I think that goes often unnoticed with our defensive performances that we've been having, just making the routine plays consistently, and that's something that not trying to revert back to last year, but we probably lost 5 or 6 games because we couldn't make a routine play last year, and we don't ask our guys to do anything that they're not capable of, just make the routine. And we have guys that are very good at making routine plays right now. So that's all we ask. We don't need them to make ESPN highlight reel plays. Just make the routines and make them consistently. And 99 out of 100 times they do it. They're doing well at that.
You mentioned that Cole went a little bit longer than you guys might have wanted to, but he still went 4 1/3. Not to discredit what Jaden's doing in the starter spot, but is there any thought of maybe moving him up earlier in games?
Not at the moment. Cole's such a valuable piece to when you can plug him in a game. There's maybe crosses the mind, why don't you just start him then? But I think it's, one of those things, if you can get some length out of, in this case, Alba a little bit, or Easton Barrett, or one of those guys, get some length and have Cole lurking there for when you really need that shutdown, 2 or 3 innings. I think, I just think it helps our bullpen become more effective. And I've always said that I hate losing games late. I hate losing games, period, but especially the ones late really sting. So I like having a lot of firepower on that back end. If we need to go to them, we can.
And obviously this weekend, nobody wants to lose a series to that team, but you still got to take a pretty thrilling game like this and a team that showed a lot of spirit fighting back from 4-0 down. Can this build forward at all, or do you kind of want to watch what happened this weekend?
No, I think, great experience, minus, obviously you lose the series, which we don't want to talk about that too much, but the atmosphere at Muni this weekend was unbelievable. The fans showed up, so thank you to the fans for coming out. It was just huge. Today was on national television, so everyone got to see, a pretty packed house here at Muni, a great game. Those are the positives you take away from it, and you try to look at Friday and Saturday night, as tough as they were to swallow. Those expose some things that we have to get better at, and if we want to make a run at this thing, we have to get better at those type of things. When you play better teams, those things get exposed, and we have to address those. And rather than going along the rest of the season thinking everything's great and hunky dory, and if you're lucky enough to get to the postseason, those things get exposed too late. Now we can address them, and we took yesterday as kind of our low point. It was stung. I didn't sleep a whole lot the last couple nights. But to bounce back the way we did today, and hopefully we can use that momentum as something to build upon as we continue the rest of our season. We're going to have some tough weekends and tough weeks ahead of us, but hopefully this is the kickstart, something special going forward.
You guys
Coach, just kind
Will-
of branching off on that, what would you like to see your team do? You're just past the halfway point of the season. What would you like to see your team do specifically moving forward?
I think, better approach offensively, I think, is just continuing to hammer down on that and get guys to buy into, and they do buy in, and when they do, they do a great job. They just kind of get respectfully lazy, I think, at times, and, oh yeah, we did that yesterday, we're good. And it's like we have to stay on them every single day on it. So that's a challenge from a coaching standpoint from our part. They're capable of doing it. We just have to continue riding them on that. I think, defensively, long as we can continue to make the plays we're supposed to, we're in good shape there. Continuing to have guys step up in the bullpen. We're gonna need one or two more guys in that back end to step up and really nail down late inning games. So those are the things we have to get better at. Holding the running game, I think, is something that we'll work on extensively this week, especially going to Cincinnati, and those guys like to run. So we have to get better at holding the running game and doing those type of things as well.
You guys kind of touched on it earlier, but with the increased fan support recently and having the opportunity to play on nationally televised linear game, why do you think there's been this increased investment in ASU baseball this season?
I think it's exciting baseball. I think we've done a good job marketing. That this is intense baseball. We've talked about it a lot. I think the product that we're putting on the field is continuing to get better and better. And these guys play hard, man. And whether or not we come out on top, I mentioned it to the games yesterday and the day before. Yeah, they suck because we came out on the bottom end. But the facts are there was no quitting our guys. I mean, we brought the winning run to the plate last night after it looked pretty dismal. For 8 2/3 of an innings, all of a sudden, next thing you know, we got the winning run to the plate, and we got a chance to win that game. So there's no quitting our guys. They're going to fight. They're going to play hard. It's meaningful baseball. It's intense baseball. So I think fans gravitate to that. It's just as a carryover from spring training. People come in. It's baseball season. They're excited about it. And oh, by the way, ASU's playing, and they're putting a pretty good product on the field, and they're playing hard, and it's fun. So the fact that our fans are supporting us and coming out, man, and I've said it all along, I mean, it's huge. This is the atmosphere we want at Muni every weekend if we can. It's a lot more fun to play when we got a packed house.
The last 3 seasons, the pitching has been one of the main reasons you guys haven't achieved what you guys wanted to achieve. This year it feels like it's extremely competitive and keeping you guys in games. What's the biggest factor in that turnaround this season?
I just think we have more depth and we have more guys that have more experience. Last year we had a bunch of freshmen last year, that the Cole Carlones, the Halvies, those guys that were just getting experience, and you see the freshmen getting thrown into it. You got to be pretty dang special to jump in as a freshman and be successful, whether it's on the mound or offensively or whatever it is. So there's a learning curve to that, and we knew that going into last year. And we took our lumps last couple of years. We just didn't have a lot of depth in those positions, especially on the mound. And some games, man, I just had to pat Sammy on the back last year and say, dude, it's all right, man. We're going through it a little bit, but it's going to pay off for us in the long run. And it is what it is now. These guys are growing up. They're getting better. They're more confident. And we were able to add some nice pieces. Jack Martinez and Lucas Kelly and Derek Schaefer, those type of guys that just continue to add more firepower out of that bullpen and back end, that we're able to continue running good arms out there, and we don't run out as fast as we did last year.
Having lived the standard set for this program, how often does the thought of the long-term goal to get back to a regional linear in your mind during the season?
That's the standard, so I don't really think about it a whole lot. I've always believed that if we breathe everything we can into these guys and coach them as best we can. I'm objective. I look at myself. What can I do better? A lot. And we continue to coach these guys the best that we can and put all of our effort into our current team. We'll deal with the results as they come. And if we can get these guys playing to their best possible selves and their best possible team we can, then I like where this team's going to be at the end of it. So, but to get caught up in whether or not we're X, Y, and Z and getting in contention for a regional. I mean, that stuff, I mean, it changes every day. So just go play the game, play it right, and win as many games as you can.
Going off of that, you guys have now played 8 games against top 25 opponents this year. I mean, how valuable is it that your lineup is battle tested heading into the later stages of the season?
I mean, I think that again, going back to doing everything we can to prepare ourselves to do that. You know, the schedule, the non-conference schedule, and then of course joining the Big 12 just becomes more and more competitive. There's a lot that goes into trying to battle test your guys at the same time giving them success, so we can, you know, put up some wins as well. But I think looking back, we probably scheduled it, the non-conference kind of right. It was difficult. It's been difficult, and those guys played us tough. But they've gone on, and a lot of those teams are gone on and winning a bunch of games. So and it prepared us pretty well for conference. So again, we're nowhere near where we need to be, but I think we're at least know where we have to get better and things we got to improve upon, and we know we're capable of doing something special.
King's been swinging a hot bat recently. What's been working for him at the plate?
Just sticking with his approach and not trying to do too much. They got a homer today, so I know he was happy about that. But man, the kid's just a solid player. He just, you know, said it a million times. That kid just comes to the ballpark ready to play. Not a real vocal guy, not a flashy guy, just a baseball player. I'll take 15 of those dudes any day of the week.
Willie, Cole mentioned that he's working on his mental game. Have you noticed a little bit of confidence with him?
Yeah, a lot, especially when he's punching guys out. It's been fun to watch that kid grow up and over the past year and a half just really evolve into who he is now. And you know, there's been times where that kid cares and he puts a lot of effort and a lot of work into it. You know, seen him down after giving up, you know, blowing a save last year and thinking the sun wouldn't come up again the next day. And he takes it to heart and wants to be the guy, wants to be really good. And just to see him put not only the physical work in, but the mental work in and preparing himself, to see him have success, it makes me really happy.
You guys are now 4 weeks in the Big 12 play, battling for top of this conference in terms of staying in. How do you feel that you've adjusted to the new conference?
You know, we played 2 teams that we're familiar with Utah and Arizona, and then 2 new teams in TCU and Kansas. Take a look at what Kansas is doing right now. They've won 8 or 9 in a row. They're hot. They're playing good since we got them hot, I guess, here. But I mean that's a tough team, man, and to see what they're doing and running through other teams and what TCU's, you know, been able to do since we played them, that gives me a little confidence that, man, we played some tough teams, and those guys are no joke. And when we're playing against them, you know, here and then at TCU and Dallas, we're struggling against them a little bit, and every game's, you know, biting nails all the way down to the wire. It's like, well, you see what they do after they get done playing us and they go on a run. It's like, yeah, we're right up there with those guys, and we beat those guys. So it gives us a little confidence that we can play with anybody in our conference, and should just give us continued confidence that we can do this thing if we play the way we're capable of.
Thanks, Coach.